You pulled on a shirt this morning without thinking, reached for your jeans, maybe checked the mirror, and you called it normal. But there is nothing normal about it. Clothing is one of the strangest things your species ever invented, and the reason you started wearing it has almost nothing to do with the cold. For most of human history, your ancestors walked this planet without a single stitch of fabric on their bodies. The first stone tools appeared roughly 3.3 million years ago. The first evidence of clothing? About 170,000 years ago. That is a gap of over 3 million years. So what changed? What finally pushed ancient humans to drape animal skins across their bodies? Scientists spent decades assuming the answer was obvious: warmth. They were wrong. Here is what the fossil record actually tells you. Around 170,000 years ago, the Earth entered a severe glacial period. Temperatures plummeted. Homo sapiens, still young as a species, were huddled in small populations in southern Africa. Researcher Ian Gilligan of the University of Sydney spent years analyzing this period and concluded that yes, the cold was real, but warmth alone does not explain the behavior that followed. Because when temperatures rose again, humans kept wearing clothes. They didn't stop. Something else had already been unlocked in the human mind. Look closer at what early clothing actually was. Not sewn garments, not dyed fabric. Animal hides, draped and wrapped. The oldest sewing needles ever found, discovered in Siberia and dated to around 50,000 years ago, are so small and precise they could only have been used to stitch fitted, tailored clothing. Not rough cloaks. Fitted clothes. Your ancestor was not just surviving the cold. They were making something intentional. They were making something that communicated. This is where anthropologist Gilligan Morris-Kay enters the picture. Her research into early symbolic behavior argues that clothing emerged alongside a broader explosion of human cognition, the same period that produced cave paintings, jewelry, and ritual burials. Clothing was not just insulation. It was the first wearable symbol. It told others who you were, what group you belonged to, whether you were available, whether you were dangerous. Your ancient ancestor looked at an animal skin and saw not just warmth, they saw a message they could wear. Think about what this means. The moment your ancestors started wearing clothes, they started performing identity. They started shaping how they were perceived. Sociologist Thor Heyerdahl observed in his cross-cultural studies that no human society ever discovered has existed without some form of body adornment. Not a single one. Even in the hottest climates, where warmth was irrelevant, people decorated and covered their bodies. Because it was never really about temperature. It was about meaning. But there is another layer your biology adds to this story. Around the same time humans began wearing clothes, something else was happening beneath the skin. Researcher David Reed of the University of Florida studied the evolution of human body lice, parasites that only live in clothing, not on bare skin. His analysis of louse DNA allowed him to calculate when clothing lice first diverged from head lice. The answer? Somewhere between 83,000 and 170,000 years ago. Clothing had been around long enough for an entirely new species of parasite to evolve inside it. Your wardrobe is old enough to have its own evolutionary history. So you are left with this picture. Clothing began as a survival response to cold, but it was immediately seized by the human mind for something far more complex. Status, identity, group membership, ritual. The same cognitive leap that let your ancestors paint animals on cave walls let them wear a fox pelt and mean something by it. Clothing became the first technology you wore on your body to control how others saw you. And nothing about that has changed. Every morning when you pull on a shirt without thinking, you are doing exactly what your ancestors did 100,000 years ago. You are sending a signal. You are performing an identity. The fabrics are different. The signals are different. But the impulse to use what covers your body to say something about who you are is as ancient as the species itself. You never just got dressed. You were always making a statement. I explain one complex topic like this every single day. Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's mystery.